Sacha, yeah, hold it, I think.
No, I don't
It'll
think
pick up.
Yeah, that's right.
Sacha, obviously you're heading into your second sort of full season with the Springboks.
Yeah.
What are you looking to get out of the season? What are your sort of goals just for the rest of the year in terms of international rugby?
Firstly, I think we've got this campaign's probably a lot tougher fixture-wise than last year, so there's a lot less room for error. So from my point of view, I kind of just want to lead by example and make less mistakes and be more clinical and put the team in the right areas and play a mature game of rugby and drive the Springboks around. And just kind of help us get as many victories as possible when I'm on the field, and when I'm off the field doing the same by being with the non-playing squad and being whichever opposition the team needs. My goal is just to do that as well as I can and either prepare the team as well as I can or be prepared as well as I can for the team.
Sacha, I was wondering if there's sort of like a pecking order between the fly-offs, that because we know with Rassie it's almost a bit different. There's not really a first choice and second choice. He selects the best team for the for any given game. But between yourself, Handre and Mani, is there sort of like, do you guys know, okay, like this is the games I'm going to start for, that's the game you're going to start for, or how's that sort of work?
So there's no real pecking order, and there's no we don't really know what's to come in terms of that squad planning. But like myself, I know that Handre is the GOAT, so he sits at number one, and me and Mani can mess around with the other positions. But yeah, there's no real pecking order. We all kind of just train hard and wait. Like you said, it's all kind of fixture dependent based on the opposition, what game plan we're going to take forward. So it's kind of week to week thing, which is nice. There's no hierarchy. Obviously, we respect Handre. He's done an amazing job with the Springboks, and so has Mani. So there's a lot of respect, but no real pecking order. Just three fly-offs going at it.
What would you say, to your mind, what makes Handre the GOAT? Do you really see him as the best South African fly-off of all time? Or?
Yeah. Well, I think him just guiding us to 2 World Cups is a statement piece in itself. I think the calmness and the coolness he brings to the group, that what I've seen, even just away from 2019 and 2023, just seeing the sort of effect he has on the group and the peace he brings and the calmness and the experience he brings, that for me is unmatched, and that's what gives him GOAT status. I think when the guys around him can play such a free-flowing game because he knows what he's doing, and he's shown it on the bigger stage and on the training field, so it's consistent at all times, and that makes him so special to me.
I guess talking about fly-offs and that, the fact that you can also play a lot at 12 sort of throws another, not a spanner in the works,
yeah.
but it's another little thing to factor in there, isn't it? And I mean, have you been given any indication at Springbok level? Are they looking at you at 12? How much might you play there?
Yeah, I don't really know much. I do know that on paper I can, like you said, cover 12 and I can cover 15. Obviously, fly-off is my primary position here, which I'm really happy about. But like you said, we've got Handre and we've got Mani, so there's going to be times when I might need a shift out, or Handre might need a shift out to 12, and that's just part of the gig, and it's part of my skill set, I guess. So it's just one of those things that comes with my job. Mani's obviously that 10 and 15, and Handre can look at more 10 and 12, and I can look at 10, 12 and 15. I think we all know that ourselves. There hasn't really been a direct conversation about it, but just I think individually we know that stuff.
Okay, maybe a bit of a weird question, but do you sort of sometimes see what people post about you on social media, the things that you do? There was the one, what game was that, the Stormers game, where you scored a hat-trick and everything just came off and people were raving about you. Do you sometimes look at those videos and see, geez, but I can really do some special stuff on the field? Or
yeah, I definitely do enjoy watching the videos of myself. I'll go watch the match footage and sometimes go through it a couple of times to relive the moment. I do enjoy that. It's we don't have a long career, so I really like enjoying the moment. But in terms of the public opinions, there was a stage when I was a bit younger when I did But I saw how quickly that can change, and it kind of just, made me keep, to my way of just watching match footage and not really reading what's out there. Obviously, on my recommended on Google or something of myself will pop up every now and then. But yeah, I don't really read too much into that. There's actually one of the celebrities always says, I hear it, but I don't hear it. I see it, but I don't see it. So when I do see it, I just try unsee it and just keep going with my little journey.
And on the field, when you attempt like insane, backhand pass or something, do you sometimes do you get like a feeling that this is going to be special? Or?
Yeah, I think sometimes that stuff, it's so instinctive that when you do it, you're actually just hoping it comes off first, because if it doesn't come off, you're going to look ridiculous. And a lot of my game is instinct, and that's something that I never want to tame, but it's something, at this level, those instinctive moves that you can't afford to let them backfire. So, when I'm pulling it off, it's all good and it's fun, and I hope it stays that way.
I mean, it kind of feels like last year with the Springboks was kind of a chance for you to express yourself and, as you say, really just enjoy the moment and the experience. And I mean, I don't want to say you're immature in any way, but do you feel like this year maybe is about growing up a bit more at international level, and you said it yourself, playing in a more mature way, but how do you do that without losing that spark, that wonderful inventiveness that you do bring?
It's a good question. I think the maturity comes from that Handre aspect of being calm on the field, and that can come from experience only. So I think the maturity is kind of inevitable if you're playing at this level and you're getting to experience the different scenarios on the field. I think as soon as you become calm, your decision making becomes clearer, and with the coaching group around me and the players around me, they are often there's always good input on what decisions to make. So the sooner you can calm down, the sooner you can make those decisions, and the group surrounding me allows me to do that. So I think it's like you said, I don't want to lose anything, but also I need to keep putting the team first. Sorry.
This year, 2 tests in New Zealand, the All Blacks. How much are you looking forward to that? And growing up, how much of an influence was All Blacks rugby on you?
Yeah, that's, if I'm part of that, that'll be crazy. That is up there with probably the fixtures you always want to play. I think the Ellis Park one last year that's one you always want to play too. So I mean, tick that box, and now it's to go do the job away from home. That's exciting to me. I think those New Zealand rugby players have had an incredible amount of influence on our game. Everyone in South Africa pretty much, we always used to wake up and watch them at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and that 10:30 game in Australia. So we've watched them for a lot of years, the way they play the expansive game, and the way their kicking game is so underrated and kind of overshadowed by their skill set, I love. So they've had a massive influence, I think, on a lot of rugby players, including myself, and to implement some of those things, kicking game, skill set, and excitement and enjoyment, I think that's incredible.
Sacha, last year obviously you hit the scene, running at full speed, and then there was this before the second test, and afterwards where Rassie said that you had an injury that you sort of hid from him. Was that how did you sort of handle that whole thing, and also it playing out in the public eye?
I think again, like, that's where we go back to that question about if you kind of read what the public says, because the public opinion, unfortunately for you guys, was wrong, and we had a clear idea of what happened in the Springbok circle, and there was no ill intent behind anything, and I think the media really did kind of sway this thing out of where it's supposed to be.
We never do that.
Yeah. But that situation, everyone in the Springboks, we all know what happened, and I think that's the most important thing. The public can speculate, and that will always be the case, but I'm happy it's buried in last year in terms of us and the Springboks, and now it's about just being prepared for this year.
Cool.
Excellent.
Sure.
Thanks, Sacha.
Thanks so much.
All the best.
It was good to meet you.
Thank you, boss. Thank you very much.
Cheers.